as the prime source of energy, then running flat at 10 kilometers an hour. 3 times. 6.8 kcals of fat being burned, walking 3.2 kilometers an hour, 21%. 6.8 compared to 1.8 kcals of fat running flat.
Per what? 10 calories of fat
Per minute, sorry, per minute. Per 1 minute of exercise. Okay, so from a fat source as the prime source of energy. If I wanted to change the way her body looks, and I want to use fat as the prime source of energy, not ATP or not her breakfast, but fat, walking an incline showed 3 times greater fat utilization than running flat. Very powerful tool, because I'm still training her heart. So she's staying oxidative in that aerobic oxidative system, and her heart rate's high. So now I have 2 systems that are increased in utilization, and she's still walking. Her perceived exertion is less. Her calves right now might be going a little bit crazy, right? You're doing all right? Okay. So heart rate, great walking slow at incline. Fat utilization, great walking slow at incline. Muscle activity. If I take her to 27% incline, gluteal contraction is 100% compared to an isometric contraction. So if I squeeze my glutes as hard as I can contract my muscle, and then I have her walk at 27%, the gluteal response is 100% contraction. So do y'all remember that old butt blaster machine? Right? Terrible. Here's the best glute machine in the club, right here. 100% contraction, and I'm still training her heart. Burning a ton of calories. Okay? Hamstrings about 78%, calves about 87%. Huge posterior activation. For an anterior dominant society, this is phenomenal. Okay? So huge muscle increase. The higher the incline, the greater the muscle activity. But now, how many of your clients come in and say, I want to change this and I want to change this? How many? A lot? Are they all women? Yeah. The men are thinking it. They're just too embarrassed to tell you. Right? They're thinking it. Hey, men absolutely want to change this. And if I can strengthen this so this looks bigger, or lose some body fat here so this looks bigger, I want that too. Right? Okay, so here's a very powerful tool. Now in these movement patterns, if you have incline trainers, in these movement patterns that I'm going to show you, 18 to 24% is the limit. You don't want to go higher because the shear force on the knee. Okay? So now I want to have abduction, and adduction. But I want her to do it on a treadmill. So all I'm going to have you do is take this hand, no, let's face this way. Take this hand, hold on right there. Good. Now take this hand, hold on right here. Now you're going to turn your whole body and you're just going to do a side shuffle. Perfect. Very quick adaptation, right? Is that AD abduction? She's pushing out, right? AB. She's pulling in, AD. Okay? So now am I chaining the inside and the outside of the thigh? Absolutely, right? Is there a smile on her face? Holy cow, she's having fun on a treadmill. So now if you're comfortable, is that hard?
No, it's fine.
You've already let go with this hand. How's that feel?
Okay.
Good? Okay. If you're comfortable, let go with this hand. Good. Just nice and controlled. Yep, nice and controlled, right? She got it. I could slow her down so it can just be a walk, right? Depending on her fitness level. Obviously, I left her going fast because I believe she's athletic enough to do it, right? Otherwise, I'd have slowed her down. Now let's just do a simple crossover. So now just take that crossover foot, right? Nice and easy. Now I can have her do a crossover. Okay? Now let's do karaoke. Not the singing, right? So just do one at a time. Oh, yes. Stop. Yep. So now I can do movement patterns on the incline trainer. Okay? Here we go. It's going to be that same speed. So don't shuffle step, just crossover. Just go over one. Yep, perfect. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Right? Very manageable. Okay, now go forward. Go the other way and just make sure we're a little bit even. Yep. Side shuffle for a minute. Okay, so we can do laterals. we can walk backwards. So try that. Perfect. Good. You can hold on if need be.
It's okay.
Adaptation. I have clients 200 kilos do these movement patterns on the incline trainer. Okay? Absolutely, they can do these movement patterns. And it's fun, right? You can't do it without a smile on your face. People say, well, why don't you do it flat? Right? Why do you do that on a flat surface? Absolutely you can. At 21% showed perfect joint angle at the hip and the knee. If you do speed, agility, and quickness drills flat and begin to fatigue, what do? Stand up, right? Do we want people doing crossovers or lateral shuffles with stiff legs? Probably not. If you're on the incline trainer and you try to stand up, it wakes you up in a hurry because it fucks your bottom leg. Okay, so you've got to stay in that biomechanical athletic position. So at 21%, it puts you in that perfect joint angle for appropriate biomechanics. You can't cheat. You can't stand up on this. Okay? You want to do more? Okay, turn around, face this way.
Don't do yourself too much now. You charge.
Bernard will collect it at the door. Okay, so I'm going to speed her up a little bit. Now I just want you to do a little skip. You thought she was smiling before? Now do a little skip. You cannot skip without a smile on your face. It's impossible. Because automatically you're 7 years old. Right? For the men, you're probably 3 because by 7 skipping was only for girls. Right? Is it right? Skipping is one of the hardest things you can have your clients do. You'll be amazed how they... Okay, so now let's really challenge it. So I'm going to slow you down again. Turn around and walk backwards. Now skip backwards. Oh, very nice. Now just add your arms. Perfect.
That's like Irish dancing.
Right? Look at the smile on her face. She can't do it without a smile. Okay, perfect. Go forward. Awesome. I'm going to stop you.
That's right.
Nice job. Awesome. Many, many movement patterns, right? Skipping, lunging, plyometrics. Lunges, absolutely. If you get on the website, you'll see Natalie. This is her favorite. She was she played football or soccer, your football, our soccer, at the university, and she loves these single legs. Or two-leg plyometrics, right? So now I can do ballistic movement patterns. Or I can do that crossover skips.
Do you think regular treadmills will take that sort of jumping?
They won't. So here's the challenge when you go back to your clubs and you want to do that sort of jumping. You certainly can do some lateral stuff. The incline trainer, as you can tell, it would last World War III. It's bulletproof, right? It's designed to withstand that pounding, that beat up. Okay? It's built for that. So if you go, and no disrespect to the other companies, those treadmills are designed to run on. Flat. They're not designed to do big movement patterns at incline. So be very conscious. The best thing that you can do for me is break the thing, and you have to call Bernard to get an incline trainer.
It's only for, a push. Do you ever see people, it's like they're pushing a car, they put their hands on the front of it, ask them to dig their feet in.
Are you asking if that's okay?
On that?
Yeah, no, it's still the same thing. So if they're here, they want to push it, right? The possibility of making the deck slip just goes up, right? It's obviously not good for the machine. So you'll see it all the time. The other thing you'll see with incline training is people will hold on. Thank you, cheers. Thank you so much, Anthony. So they'll hold on and they'll lean back. Is this walking at an incline? Look at the hip, right? This is walking flat, right? There is no flexion. So they crank it up 30%, right? And they're huffing and they're puffing and they're walking flat. That hip flexion is what drives that gluteal extension and the activation. So if you have an incline trainer now, make sure that when you coach, that they can still hold on, just make sure there's still some forward flexion at the hip, right? So they still have to extend, lengthen, extend. Otherwise, there's no length in here. Okay? Does that make sense? So from an incline training standpoint, you can have more fun than you've ever had on a treadmill or a cardio piece across the board, in my opinion, than you can on the incline trainer. Okay? High heart rates, walking slow. Very possible. If you've not experienced 30%, make sure you get on 30% before you leave. Fat utilization. So the higher the incline, the higher the heart rate. Fat utilization from 18 to 24% slow walking. 21% is the magic number. 21%, 3.2 kilometers per hour is the magic number. Show the greatest amount of kcals of fat being burned a minute. Okay? Muscle activity. The higher the incline, the higher the muscle activity. And then variation of movements, right? Let it be fun. Let this be a tool for you to use as a fitness professional. You don't have to just build their cardio program and keep going, right? You know, is anybody stand and coach their cardio, coach their clients in their cardio, running or anything? Does anybody do that? So it's a waste of time. But now I can coach, right? Now I can coach her biomechanics. I can coach movement pattern. I can use this as a strength tool. I can use it as a cardio tool, as a weight loss tool, across the board. Okay? So there's many options now. Then this is now another tool in my toolbox. It's not just this. It's not just for the members to come in and use without me. I can use it as a session that they pay for. Okay? So their cardio days, the days of I'm going to train you on your strength 3 days a week and you do your cardio on your own, that's gone. This now can be a tool. Now I'm going to train you 5 days a week because I want you for your cardio as well. Okay? So this is another opportunity now. And inside of this MC squared circuit, this is a very powerful tool from a caloric expenditure standpoint. Okay? So then, yes?
What was the metabolic effect after training with between the fast running and the walking?
What about the speed intervals?
We did not do EPOC on MC squared, so I honestly can't tell you. What I can tell you about similar studies is obviously the higher intensity that was created, the greater EPOC, the longer EPOC took place post-workout, right? Everybody knows what we're talking about, right? So I would summate from other studies that because of the intensity level, from a heart rate standpoint, EPOC is going to be pretty comparable. Yeah.
If the heart rate is the same, though.
You'd think it'd be pretty comparable. There could be something to impact, potentially activating more muscle tissue from running versus there's no impact. Obviously, walking at an incline or very minimal. So there could be something around that from a total musculature standpoint. The energy system certainly, but what we did notice is running flat, the posterior muscle tissue was much less than walking at incline. So it'd be a good thing to study, and we have not done that. There's a big study going on right now about the metabolics of fat utilization, utilizing incline at a big university in the United States, University of Minnesota. So maybe they'll have some details about that going forward, but today I'm sorry, I can't answer. Yeah. Any other questions on that? So obviously, very cool, fun tool, right? Just another tool, another fun tool that we can do. So then cable is the other, and we talked about it upstairs. But from an MC squared standpoint, so we had cable, we have the incline